Hello and welcome back to the channel for another College TF review. Today we're taking a look at the Jazwares Micro Galaxy Squadron Endor AT-AT. This is a fantastic set with tons of little micro figures and a really well weathered and articulated AT-AT. Now this is their second AT-AT release. I haven't reviewed the first one, which is their Hoth AT-AT release, but same thing, just weathered paint. So I'll go over all the features in this video, and just know that the Endor AT-AT, which I do have, just haven't opened it yet, that is the same features as this. It's just a different paint scheme and includes different figures, and I'll bring it out towards the end of the video just so you can see the comparison between the two. So to begin with, take a look at the packaging. Very nicely done. You have a scene in the background of Endor with the big trees being the redwood forest and the an AT-AT walking around back there, or AT-AT, however you prefer. So it's got 18 plus features of articulation, so there you go. You get the figures that are included are Darth Vader and Luke Endor, so they're right here. Just show them since they're in front. So nice paint and detailing on both figures, especially Vader. I mean, check that out. And they have the same articulation as typical Jazwares, so hands and legs, arms and legs. Same thing with Vader, except his legs are not actually separate because of the skirt piece. And you can remove his cape as well to allow him to, fly a TIE fighter or whatever you might want him to do. So there are those figures. Then you also get, those are only two of them, you get one AT-AT pilot, one scout trooper, and then you get 4 stormtroopers, 2 of which have blasters and 2 of which do not. So I'll show them all later as they are in the AT-AT right now. So turn the box around. See, there's lots of features. We'll go over all of them, and I'll show you what that looks like. We'll get into all this next. So here is the AT-AT, and man, this thing is fantastic. I really like the weathering they did on it. I'm not the biggest fan of the green weathering down here. I would have preferred if that was just some rust, not so heavy on the green. I like the brown though, and the rust detailing up top looks fantastic, as do all the blast marks. Really nice panel lines on this thing, incredibly detailed. I love how this neck piece is actually rubber, which I mean is both because of how it looks in the movies, but also because of necessity for it to actually articulate. It's a double purpose. Nice detail throughout. Here's the other side. Some more blast marks, a lot more rust on this side as well. And yeah, here's the back, which is also fully weathered. The bottom is also weathered, which is insane. The feet themselves are weathered in green, so they've been stepping over the Endor terrain. And there is, of course, the signature AT-AT head. Looks awesome. So before we get into it does have light and sound features, and I do have batteries in it, so I can show it to you. But first, let's go over articulation. So the head actually has 2 joints in it, so there you can get lots of articulation out of that. You can hear all the nice solid ratchets, and it does move down as well and up. So lots of points of articulation in there, which is really nice. The side cannons do not move, unfortunately, and these are fixed, but you can access the cockpit, and there you can see, here is the AT-AT driver sitting in there. Pull him out, get a good look at that figure. Really nicely detailed. Again, very nicely done. Even the Imperial logo on his head there, really nicely done figure. And they do have little grips in there to keep them from rolling around, which is nice. There you can see all the detail in there. And this guy is just one I added. This is just the AT-ST pilot who I am using as a substitute for a commander right now, but that's from a different vehicle, so that's not included in the set. But then you can also see there is sculpting detail on the underside of that head panel there, which is really impressive. And there is the door detail too, to go between the head and the rest of the AT-AT. Then other articulation features, of course, are the legs. So you do get ratchets at the top, move forward and backwards. Now, one interesting thing is the feet. The toes kind of collide, so you just have to move them past each other. But you can get quite a bit of articulation out of these legs, so they move back to about there, and the front ones can move forward all the way to there. So very nice. And then you do get nice knee articulation there as well, both forward and back. And you also get articulation at, I guess, the feet, which rock back and forth. Sorry, it's a little hard to show that. They rock back and forth like that. They do not articulate in and out though. So that is the articulation for the legs. And it isn't that hard to get them in a pose. So there you go. And then you do also get interior features. So just open up this whole back compartment and you have a whole new playset feature on the inside. So you got lots of stormtroopers up there. This is more than come with the set. You only get 4. So the 4 that are included with this set are right here. And they're the standard stormtroopers. We've seen them before. And then you also get 1 scout trooper. So one of these 3 back there is your scout trooper. And it comes with only 1 speeder bike. And you do get a stand for that speeder bike. But I, of course, already have 3 more to stuff in there. So you can just see how they all stack up inside. There's also a crane feature here. And just detached crane. And you can use it to lift speeder bikes or troopers into the AT-AT, which is a pretty neat feature. Then in addition to all of the mechanical features, you do of course get lighting functions. And so if you press this button, it turns everything on. And so you can see the headlights up. There aren't any lights really inside. It's just that cockpit light, but I think that looks pretty cool. And then you do also get all the lights on the inside of that here. Just raise the camera up so you can see the very tippy top there. So you get all the nice Imperial light detailing on the inside. And you press this button again. You of course get that walking sound. Which is very nice. And then you press this button and you get firing effects. You can see the cannons light up there.
All troops will debark for ground assault. Prepare to target the main generator. Target maximum firepower. All troops will debark for ground assault. Prepare to target the main generator.
And that's the full cycle of sound effects. And if you just keep pressing that side button, you of course get the walking sound. And then to retract this reel, it just has a little gear mechanism. So just pull back that winch, you can get it inside. And it does clip into place as well, which is a nice feature, and it's keyed, so it only clips in one way, like that. And you can flip that back inside, like so. And this panel does there's one, really just line up this tab. There you go. So after a certain period of time, the sound effects do just turn off and it conserves battery, which is a nice feature. And so all that snaps back into place very nicely. So the final accessory you do get with this guy is the winch or grappling hook that Luke uses in, of course, Empire Strikes Back to get onto the AT-AT, but since this is the same mold and figure, they still included it with this. And the way it integrates is you have this little hook piece on the top, and that can go into either of these slots. So if you just line it up so that it goes in, and then turn it to one side. So line it up, and then turn it to one side, it'll hold in place. And then this little clip piece can be used to hold on to Luke. And you can have Luke dangling from your AT-AT, which is a neat little feature. And I'm glad they still, didn't skimp out on accessories with this at all. So really, really well featured toy here from Jazwares. Just try and get this little clip out. There we go. Just find the right key. That is not cooperating with me because it is on camera. And that is what happens. There we go. Just got to remember which way you key it in there, but no problem. This is a very playable figure indeed, and I absolutely love it. Big fan of the AT-AT, and this is a very playable size. Now, scaling-wise, like if you're curious about how disproportionate it is, it's definitely a little too small to be to scale with the micro figures. Like as you can see, Luke is definitely too big, given that this foot can crush a speeder bike, or well, it's definitely a speeder bike, but of course a snow speeder. Luke's definitely too big from what we see in the movie, but I think Jazwares did an excellent job still keeping it at a decent size, that it looks very good, it's still very playable, and everything's still in scale, which is key. And like the head isn't disproportionate, even though you can still fit 3 figures in there, no problem. They did a really good job keeping the scale consistent with these vehicles. So I'll grab real quick Endor AT-AT, bear with me, I'm not going to turn off the video because I just have to run it and grab it, so I'll be right back. Apologies, not Endor, but Hoth, the Hoth AT-AT. I still haven't opened it, but just so you can get a sense of the differences between the two. You can see the Hoth AT-AT is nice and clean, and it does come with fewer figures, and it also comes with the white speeder bike instead of the brown ones that we see with the Endor AT-AT. But you do get another AT-AT pilot, so if you get two AT-ATs, you'll have a complete pilot set. You do get General Veers in this one, so you can actually have a commander, and then you get Luke in his Snowspeeder Hoth outfit, and then you get two snowtroopers, which is excellent. And I do already have another speeder bike and a snowtrooper to put in this guy, so can't wait to actually open that one up finally. But if you enjoyed this review, please leave a like and subscribe. I really appreciate you watching this content. And if there's some other Jazwares vehicles that I haven't reviewed yet, I probably have them, so just let me know in the comments if you want a review of a certain vehicle. But there's a whole bunch more I'll get around to soon, so stay tuned, and I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next review.